Hello, the Freemans here again. 30 days of conscious partnership. It's been so fun to communicate with you all. We love the feedback from all of these days. If you haven't met us, we're the Freemans, authors, speakers, social entrepreneurs, and really ambassadors for partnerships thriving physically, financially, and spiritually. We truly believe that partnerships can be thriving in all of those areas. And today's topic is what?
Can you motivate your partner? So what do we mean by this? Have you experienced some aspect of there has been an area that your partner says, I would really like to better or accelerate? Maybe my health, maybe start a business. Maybe your partner just has not had as much joy or energy recently. And maybe for you, not only was there something that you wanted to motivate them to change or make a shift in, but it could possibly be that your partner even said something about them wanting to change or shift something in their own life or within your partnership, and they haven't quite done it yet. Is that there for anybody?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard, just really quickly to jump in, I've heard many people ask, my partner has said they want to lose weight. How do I motivate them? Or they keep saying they want to start this business and they haven't. So there's so many of you who truly care about your partner. You want to motivate them. So let's talk about that.
Well, so the first part really is that partner is going to need to feel accepted from you. So it cannot come from a place of, I want you to change for me, or that really anything else from a place of judgment or comparison. There has to be a foundation of acceptance. And for that space to be there really is the first step for your partner to even have the opportunity to start to make a change, be motivated, as we said, or start to make a shift.
Yes, so truly, I know that in the past I have imposed my thoughts that someone should be a certain way, right? They should be motivated to do this, this, and this, and it doesn't feel good on either part. So truly, when we can come from a place of speaking to their greatness and something that we just see can take them to the next level, it's truly accepting them as they are, because we're all evolving, growing beings. I mean, we haven't arrived. There's no arrival when you're cooked. You're done. No, so truly pursuing that together as a couple, that ongoing growth, but not from a place of you need to be fixed. It's like, you're awesome, you're whole, complete, and amazing, and let's take on life together.
So once they feel that acceptance, that level of acceptance from you, given that we're talking about your partner here, then there must be a willingness on their side to actually change, or actually to be motivated, or to make this kind of shift that either they said that they've wanted, or that you have said you would like to see in them, maybe verbally or non-verbally. But so there has to be a willingness. There has to be, it cannot be forced upon, like Jocelyn was mentioning, from one partner to another. There has to be a willingness. There has to almost be, like Tony Robbins would say, sometimes there has to be as much pain for someone to change, which ultimately I think brings about a willingness, but there has to be a motivator. There has to be something, a willingness within them to actually make this change.
And I'll give an example. There's a friend of mine who, she was bumping up against this. She saw her husband suffering in his health, and she was taking on her health. And she was like, why won't he change? Why won't he change, right? What was powerful was, as he observed her doing what she wanted to do and feeling good and being empowered in her goals, really he became willing. One day he woke up and he's like, all right, I am willing to take on my own health. And then, you know what? It wasn't so painful. It wasn't like pulling something. So we won't go too deep into that. But if you take on, you're leading the way, you are even leading by example, that person may be more influenced by seeing that than hearing, I know that I have fallen into the trap of harping on someone, right? But if you truly are leading by example, their willingness, there's not the first point, when they're accepted, it's like that guard is down, and then truly they have a willingness to evolve and grow.
Well, and there's some questions as to why someone would not be willing. They may just not be willing, but not really looking at why that could be. So there's some great questions that you could ask them. What is in the way? And we'll just go with this health analogy. Maybe they don't have a willingness because it seems too uncomfortable that they would have to change their entire diet. They have to start totally eating way different, or they can never have a piece of pizza. So there might be something that they're not saying that is holding them back from being willing to change when ultimately, when the concern is addressed and brought up, then you could solve it by saying, no, you know what? I'm not actually asking for you to give up your whole way of eating. You don't have to stop eating pizza ever again. And you can really work on then the willingness based on whatever the concern may be.
And so the third and final point is that they've got to have a why. Change is painful and hard for any of us when we aren't connected to why. If they are trying to take on their health but they're not connected to why, the how is gonna feel hard. Their financial goals, their mindset, their career. So connecting with them on their why is so key. So sit down with them. Why would this matter to you? So we got to wrap up today. We hope that you can implement those points. We're the Freemans. Like our page. Stay connected. We love you all.